the two words, just getting started. Yeah, you already won once you get started, because when you get started and you have God by your side, I mean, come on now, like who's gonna tear you down? Nobody.
Some motivational experiences that I think will help you pilot the new year coming in, because it didn't start out like that for me, but towards the end of this year, I was actually motivated to jump into things that I didn't even know I had any I don't know, any feelings for, if you want to say. But like, step one is to actually in order for you to be motivated into doing something that maybe you're not really fond of or you're not really interested in doing, I think you kind of have to start with things that you like doing, to kind of get the balls rolling, to roll in motion. You don't want to jump in doing something that someone else is telling you to do when you're not really motivated to do it. And for me, I feel like, when I started doing what I'm about to talk about, which was we just moved into this new home. I'm a first-time home buyer, So for me, you're not going to get your first house looking like already set and done. All you have to do is just move right in. It's not going to be like that. In the beginning, you're going to see things that you are not going to like. So you're not going to find the perfect house. You make the perfect house, basically. So when we saw this house looked amazing. It just needed a little bit of some TLC. Like anything, you got to make it your home. So I wasn't thinking like, all right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I was kind of like, I'm cool with the way things look. And for me, that was my settling from the beginning. Like, I'm not looking to change anything. I'm looking to just move right in. As long as the neighborhood is nice and, where, my routine as far as driving, where I'm usually going to, as long as the scenery looks amazing, I'm cool with that. But I started realizing as a homeowner that this is a commitment. This is a lifetime commitment. And when you're renting, let's just say, you really can't do much. When you're renting, it's like, it is what it is. You're just living in that box. And it wasn't going to be like that. Moving into a new home, that's not how, reality. Moving into a new home, the reality part about it is that you're going to be your plumber, you're going to be your electrician, you're going to be everything under the sun, you name it, you're going to be that. And that was my awakening, trying to figure things out that I've never done before. And one of them was trying to put up trimming, I guess you want to call that, around your house, which needed it because we removed some carpet, and in the floor, while it looked nice, it needed some TLC around the edges of the area. So that was one. And then the next thing that I wanted to touch base on was my basement, which was my man cave, right? As soon as we came into the house and we looked around, the basement showed it was showing to me like, this could be something. This could be something. This is not just a dark and gloomy basement. It seems like it has a beginning to it. Like we can do something with this. And because I didn't have that creative mind at the time, as far as like, how can I make this a living? How can I make living here a little bit better? I didn't have that. I was just more looking to, buy it as it is and just be okay with it. I started noticing little by little, because I really like playing. I had my moments where I like playing games. And for me, being in the basement was being secluded away from everyone else. That was my gaming area where I could somehow find peace to just focus and play whatever it is that I'm playing. And also invite my kids downstairs with me to play with me or whatever. And for them, that was like, okay, Dad, what are you going to ask me now? And it would go from, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Hey, what do you think about this? And it would go like, all right, Dad, this is like the routine. You're always asking us What do you think about this? And then it went from that to one day, I just woke up one day and it was like, it just hit me. And I think it was it was more like being motivated by the Holy Spirit, like just being clean, something that you can find peace in. And I mean real peace, because if your area looks a mess, I mean, you guys are teenagers. I used to walk into their room and I used to be like, where's your dressers? And then they would be like, oh, it's right there. And I would be like, well, it's empty, because there are clothes everywhere. And I'm just saying, like, like the teenagers, like I was once, were messy. And I pretty much kept going and living life that way, because you become content. And until someone just comes into your life and just bursts your bubble and says, hey, buddy, you need to change. Or sometimes you might get that light bulb, and it might encourage you. And when you get that encouragement, that light bulb, I don't know what may that be. I don't know how you may be motivated, but if something somehow simply motivates you to hit that light bulb and you act on it, I had to act on it. I got that light bulb. I got that calling. It was like, bro, you need to fix your area. And I just didn't know where to start. So I simply went for painting. I went for painting. I went for making a wall. I went for lighting, and I went for rearranging the dressers, the cabinets. And it eventually became something beautiful, a work of art. And now that I am in that space, I could actually feel like I belong in that space. So at first, I felt like I was just in the space. I was in a space that wasn't mine before, and now it is. And it's like I'm living under someone else's creation, someone else's, inspiration. How could I put in a little twist here and there? And that's where I was stuck at, because even though you're moving in, right, you're putting in your game here, your dresser here, your movie here. Your TV here. It doesn't mean you changed anything. It's just that you just moved in and you just brought in some stuff, some baggage, right, from someone else's house. And it doesn't really make it a home. A home is where you feel like you belong. And I, for so long, felt like I didn't belong. And now, and we're going to actually put some pictures up so that you guys could actually see what I'm talking about, from the before and then the present moment. But now it feels amazing. And not only that, but like the way I looked at it, because we would discuss this with my wife, and I would ask her, what do you think about this? I'm thinking about doing this to the basement or whatever. Her first answer was that I think you're doing a little too much. I think you should worry about the garage, or how about you finish the trimming in the dining room, stuff like that. And I'm guilty. I was not motivated. I was not motivated to do any of that, because I don't know. I just felt like for some reason I was overwhelmed. I don't know why. But then I told myself, in order for me to motivate myself to do something that I'm really not interested in doing, I got to start with something that I like being in, which was the basement, my area where I felt comfortable and uncomfortable at the same time. So I said, you know what? I'm going to fix this down here and then see where it gets me. And if I still feel good about it, just go with the flow. And that motivated me to have like bigger ideas. And now I'm willing to break down other walls, other things that I didn't know that I could do. I'm learning as a new homeowner, but I'm just as far as a person in general, as just me being me, I'm learning that in order for you to help other people, you got to help yourself. You got to help yourself. You got to dig deep and find out what it is that you love about you. And then, embrace that. Embrace the fact that you are in love with yourself, right? But not to the point where you're just conceited and like, I'm not doing that. That's not me. No, but do it in a way where as though others can also take from that and embrace that, and like just feel happy like if you're happy, everyone else is gonna be happy. It's just you're gonna be radiant enough to kind of help other people around you feel happy as well. So I say start with you. Start with you. Figure yourself out, and everything else will just fall into place.
Yeah, I think that's great advice, Dad. That when it comes to motivation, especially with this new year coming, 2024, this video is gonna be out just a week before then, I believe. But it's good to start, like, when you start with motivation, start with the stuff that you're interested in, just like he did, just like my dad did when he started with the basement rather than starting where my mom would always tell him to start, like up in this living room to do the trimming. And for you guys, that's good advice to, like, if you're motivated to do something, don't force yourself to automatically use discipline to do something you don't want to do, because you're gonna lose that motivation fast. You have to use motivation to your advantage and use it in the things that you're interested in, and then jumpstart your journey essentially. And then also you said something earlier which I don't think you mentioned, which is that being selfish isn't always a bad thing. And I think that is a good tip for you guys, that selfish has a bad connotation, I think it's called, but it really isn't always a bad thing, because you have to be selfish sometimes to help others.
And step 2, how to stay disciplined when you don't want to in the upcoming new year, 2024. Now, most people may think that being disciplined is doing the big things, like waking up 3 o'clock in the morning and running to the other side of the earth and coming back and then taking an ice bath. That's what most people probably would think off the top of their head what discipline is, from people like David Goggins. They use that as their kind of idol to be like who is a disciplined person. But, discipline is not David Goggins. And being disciplined could be doing the simple things, like waking up in the morning and making your bed first thing, or brushing your teeth in the morning, or washing your face in the morning with cold water when you probably don't want to because you just woke up. Those little things are really what could count as being disciplined. Now, an example or an experience I can give from myself of being disciplined when I don't want to is, not too long ago, my brother would always, clean our room, and I would always never help at all because I just didn't want to do it. I didn't think it was, basically I wasn't motivated to do it at all. I didn't want to do it. So I would just be down here and my brother would be cleaning our room. And one day I just thought to myself, like, I'll clean like my area of the room, which is me being selfish. But sometimes being selfish will really help you get into what you want to do, as they stated before. So I cleaned my area of the room, and I really thought to myself, like, oh, this feels good. Like I cleaned an area of my room, and this really felt good to clean. Like afterwards, I felt really good. So from there, just like over time, I just started cleaning, like just little by little, cleaning more and more in the room every Sunday, which is when we clean mostly the house, either Sunday or Saturday. And ever since like just over time, I just became the one who cleans our room now. And just because over time I started cleaning our room doesn't mean that every single Sunday I want to clean our room, because I don't always want to clean our room every single Sunday. But I discipline myself and I just go do it, because I know that when I get done cleaning the room, I know how good it's gonna feel. So that's a tip for you guys is, when you don't want to do something, like just think to yourself, like if you've done it before, especially too, just think to yourself like how good you felt after you did that, and use that as your motivation, and discipline yourself to go do that what you have to go do. And yeah, I think so overall, being disciplined is really just not always about doing these crazy things or these things that you see on the internet, on TikTok or whatever. It's sometimes just about the little things. And over time, when you start doing the littler things of little disciplined things, you'll eventually just come to realize that, like, this is like, you won't even realize it, that you're waking up making your bed. You won't even realize it, that you're brushing your teeth every morning, or washing dishes, or doing something for somebody else. You won't even realize all these things you're doing, because it just starting with the little things. You don't have to wake up one day and be like, okay, today's where I start. It's the first day of 2024. I'm gonna discipline myself, and I'm gonna wake up exactly 3 o'clock in the morning and do all this stuff. Like, you're probably not gonna do that every single day, unless you're like a robot or something. Yep. So you start off with doing the really simple things, and from there you'll realize that you yourself are becoming so much more disciplined, and then you'll be able to do those things that you see. I mean, if you want to go to the gym every single day and discipline yourself too, eventually you'll just do it because you, as yourself, you've grown as a person to become more disciplined. So, and now I think a good question to ask to brother over here would be, have you ever had a moment where, or had an experience where you had to discipline yourself to do something that you really did not want to do at all for a very, and if it was something that you didn't want to do, like, was it something you ever even tried before? Was it just something new you were going into and you just disciplined yourself to be like, I'm gonna do this?
So, to answer your question, have I felt a moment of discipline? Of course, my answer is gonna be yes. So we can say earlier this summer, a little after my birthday, which is in June, I was watching a YouTuber who motivated me to start a YouTube channel. Not this YouTube channel, but a different one, for which I was like just editing a whole bunch of shorts. And the whole goal was to get into like affiliate marketing, I guess. So I was just editing so many shorts. I was doing 6 shorts a day. I think 5 shorts a day. I was just editing, posting. I did that for like months. Like I got like 600 uploads probably on that channel.
Wow.
And it's different from what I'm doing here, but that experience, which took months, even though I didn't achieve anything out of that, it equipped me with the discipline to do stuff like I am doing now with this channel, and like we're doing with this channel. So that's my experience with discipline. And after discipline and after motivation, so just to make things clear here, especially in the new year when 2024 starts. So I'd start as soon as you hear this message, because you don't need to wait for the new year to start to change your life. Your life should be changing right now. But take advantage of the motivation in the beginning. Take advantage of the fact that you're really interested in things. Like if you are interested in starting the gym, take advantage of that. Don't overwork yourself though. Take advantage, whether that's 10 minutes a day right now, just 5 minutes on cardio, it doesn't matter. Just start going, and then progressively overload that, like a couple minutes more. Take advantage of the motivation that you have right now, because if you're watching this video, you probably have some motivation to get started on something. I don't know why you're listening to 16 and a 14-year-old talking about this, but
because you guys are the best.
We have some, we got advice to give you. But yeah, so motivation, start with that, and then eventually you're gonna notice a couple months down the line, you're gonna notice that you're not really motivated to do these things anymore. And this is where my brother's topic of discipline comes in hand. It's when you're not motivated to do something, so when you don't want to do it, you need discipline to do it. And discipline is a topic for a whole nother video to go in depth. And this video is on YouTube, like 3-hour videos on YouTube that you can go watch for discipline too. I'll put one in the description that I recommend for you to watch. It's a pretty good one. It's 3 hours though. So so you can learn how to be disciplined in your entire life, to change your life. It's a really complex topic. What he said was a general summary along with his examples of it. But yeah, so you start with motivation, use discipline to continue on for the rest of your life, hopefully. And then in addition to discipline, you're going to need what's called willpower. You're going to need to equip yourself with this so that you can continue changing your life for the rest of your life, because your life should always be changing. You shouldn't be static. You shouldn't get comfortable. Like my dad is not trying to get comfortable with his basement, neither this whole house. He's trying to continue on upgrading the house because he is a new homeowner. He's not trying to leave this house the same way he got it. He's trying to leave this house selling it twice as much as he got it. You never know. So you don't want to get comfortable. Your life should always be changing, progressively overloading. Like we all know this this advice from like people who do gym stuff, like progressively overload. But back on willpower. So a couple years down the line, if you're still changing your life with discipline, then you're gonna notice, like you're gonna notice that you're gonna get some desires that you might not want to pursue, and these are desires that are trying to infiltrate your original desire of changing your life and improving your life constantly. For an example, me, a couple months ago, maybe a month ago, I had the desire to play maybe games again. I think I did for like a week. Had the desires to play games again, and through that time, it was like I was thinking to myself, what would be bad if I did? You know, like what would I lose out? I just have fun, right? And if you watched the last video game video, I pretty much settled what my this question I had in my own brain. Like, probably not gonna do it. It's not worth my time. It's at all. So I resisted that desire, and I've had many other desires like that. For an example, another one would be eating candy, which I don't eat candy that often. In fact, I have a Snickers bar right beside me. I mean, I know what it is. I don't put it in front of my desk anymore, but I haven't ate it in like, when did I get it?
2 months ago.
Probably like almost like maybe in August. I want to say something like that.
Yeah,
3 months ago.
I got it a while ago.
It's probably.
It was hot that day.
It probably tastes.
hot.
It was hot, and
Today.
right now we're recording the day before Christmas Eve.
know,
So,
I wouldn't recommend eating.
The heat makes you buy candy.
well, I got it with the intentions of not eating it, and keep having it in my mind. Like, if I really wanted it, I could have it, but I'm training my willpower by not eating it every single day. So, that's another example of how I use willpower to resist these desires that deep down I don't think I should pursue, or deep down that God doesn't think I should pursue. So therefore He equips me with the willpower to resist these desires. So now the real question is, how will motivation, discipline, and willpower, how will they all like combined change your life in 2024? Now this is a question I can ask to you guys too, but my answer is you just gotta get started, man. Start with motivation, as I was saying. Start with motivation. Move on to discipline, because motivation is fickle. It's not going to last that long. Motivation is going to last a month or two. Yeah, you hear this all the time. You probably go through this every single year for the past 10 years. You're like really motivated in January. The gyms are packed in January because you got all these people on their treadmills ready to change their lives. Part-timers.
Yeah.
They come once a year in January.
They get that dopamine effect from the first time they get the hit, and after a while.
It's a drug. They get motivated, and then next thing you know, the gyms are getting empty around February, and
Which we are all guilty of. It's
we're all gonna fall off.
Yeah.
But what matters is that when you notice that you're falling off, note to yourself that you gotta use the discipline. Like, you gotta discipline yourself to do it. You have to do the hard work when you don't want to, especially when you don't want to.
It's really just about everyone's gonna fall off, but it's really just about who's gonna get back up. Is really what it's all about.
That's all it is. So many people are gonna fall off. I like to think about life as a race, like it's a track race or something, and it's a track race that, not a marathon, because I mean it could be a marathon, but I like to think about a track race because it's easier to visualize. That you're running with people to the finish line. The finish line is a while from now. Let's just say that it's a pretty long track race, and you got people beside you, people in front of you, and people behind you, and you're always gonna. People are gonna get in front of you, and you're always gonna get in front of people. But that doesn't mean you get to win the race, because in order to win the race, you have to continue going at the speed that you're going. In fact, you have to go faster than the speed that you were going previously, and that's where you gotta level up yourself by using discipline and willpower to level up. Motivation is not gonna level you up. Motivation is just gonna get you started on the race. It's gonna get you to sprint really fast, and then now you want to quit, but you gotta keep sprinting, because if not, these people behind you who are going slow and steady, like what is it, the rabbit and the turtle?
Rabbit and the tortoise, yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't think that was the moral of the story.
Hair, right?
The hair, the turtle. Something like that.
that.
Just like you're going slow and steady because you're using discipline to discipline yourself, not to overwork yourself right now, to eventually win the race. But this race is a really long time. And another tip, just real quick, that the people behind you, they're gonna keep trying to pull you back. They're gonna be like, for an example, let's say I was in this race, there's a guy behind me, and he was like, yo, just come play video games with us, come play Fortnite real quick, come real quick, come play Fortnite. And then I go back, now he's speeding up on the race because he's trying to get in front of me. That was his main goal. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say.
It's the enemy. It's what the enemy's gonna try to do.
So if you guys have anything to add on to that.
I completely agree with the statement my brother just said about, simply just getting started is what's gonna just completely win you the race at the end of the day. It's really just getting started, and it will be hard, but once you get started, and also once you find God, you can't lose. You really can't lose. Like, you will consistently take accountability of everything you're doing. Like, you will be like, would God, would Jesus Christ, would Jesus Christ just lay around all day in his bed and not do anything? No. So you're gonna really just feel more motivated,
Accountable and stuff.
accountable, and really just feel more motivated to just start getting started. And like the three steps we just gave, it's really just like that's the steps you have to climb, like motivation, discipline, and willpower. And once you get to like the top step, it's like, who can stop you? It's really just like you are going to never look back. And it's just, yeah, I honestly, I think that was like the best thing to just really say, is just simply like 2 words. Like when you watch this video, and whether it's before or after 2024 or whatever, you could still start anytime you want. But the 2 words, just getting started, is really what's just gonna like, yeah, you already won once you get started. Because who's gonna, when you get started and you have God by your side, I mean, come on now, like who's gonna tear you down? Nobody.
Half the people don't even get started.
Half the people don't even get started. So
Half the people spend their entire lives just thinking about getting started.
yeah.
Like you've beaten your competition once you've decided that you're gonna get started.
Yeah.
Most people, you know, will wake up on you know, we'll wake up on 2024, the first day of 2024, and be like, oh man, dude, in a year, when, you know, because I'm going to the gym today, in a year when I get those 6-pack abs, like they're just only thinking about it. But you could right now, you could go and just really just go start every single thing that we've just stated in this video, and get started right now while they're thinking about it, like, oh, I'm thinking about starting on this day. No, you can start today, like right now. Nothing stopping you. If you have enough time to watch this video, you're probably not gonna do anything, you know, after this video. Get started. Just get started. So that's really all I have to say.
All right, so you know, you guys had amazing examples on, especially what you just said right now, on how to get started, and like just pretty much get started. And then JJ, you had mentioned how not like many people just stay stuck in the fact that they're just thinking about it. You know, I was once there. I was once just thinking about it. You know, but I'm a visionary. And as a visionary, I like to, you know, see things in place and then go from there. And that's basically how I started. But I also want to notate, like, a lot of us like to say, oh, it's a force of habit. It's a force of habit. And usually we associate a force of habit with bad habits. You know, oh, I'm sorry, it's just a force of habit. You know, I didn't close the fridge, you know, quickly. I didn't close the fridge completely. You know, sometimes we go in the fridge, we get our cup of juice or whatever, and we forget to close the fridge, and we leave it on the whole entire night, or open the whole entire night. It's a force of habit. Simple things like that. But you know, there are some good habits that you can create and force them. You know, sometimes you have to force something that you don't like doing and just create a habit out of that. Like you have to, you have to force it. You have to force the things that you don't like. You got to force it. Sometimes, I mean, for me, I had to force myself. And how did I force myself into making the house look a little bit better? You know, I just finally hung up a mirror that took me for like months to hang up. I wasn't inspired. I wasn't inspired. You know, my wife was like, so yeah, did you hang up the mirror yet? And I would be like, this lady again coming at my neck. And then, you know, out of the blue, I forced myself. I did it, you know, and it feels good when you force. I mean, it doesn't feel great forcing yourself. Don't get it twisted. If you have to force yourself all the time, then there's something you're doing wrong. But I want to say, forcing yourself in the beginning can start by doing something you like doing, how I started, how to motivate yourself. Force yourself by doing something you like doing, and then eventually it won't be forced. Eventually it'll just lead you to that path. All right. Romans 8:26. The same way the Spirit helps us in our weakness, when we do not know what to pray, the Spirit intercedes himself for us through wordless groans. So basically, you don't have much to say. All right, you don't know what to pray about. All right, just close your eyes, let the Holy Spirit come right in. Ask the Father for that mindset to provide you with the words Okay, just sit back and close your eyes and just let God, let God get in, let God go in, all right, and help you, right? Help you change that mindset. When you pray, all right, pray with the understanding of God. You know, tell God to help you not by your understanding, but by His. All right, and allow for Him to lead you. All right, allow for Him. A lot of us are conceited or prideful, and we don't let Him in because we think we got all the answers, right? But ultimately, we don't. And that's basically what I want you to take from what I'm saying, along with what Jaden and JJ also as well, what he said as well. Like, we're all coming together and we're all letting God in and letting Him lead us, all right? And let the Holy Spirit guide us. And if sometimes you have nothing to say, it's fine. You can talk without talking. Just actions, just do it. Just do it. And that right there will start a good habit. A good habit. So instead of you associating a force of habit with something bad or something just simple that's just irrelevant, you know, force yourself in the beginning with something you like, and then eventually it will become something not forced. It'll be genuine. But guys, I want to say this was an amazing podcast. We spoke about things that were relatable to each other and hopefully to those of you out there who are viewing. And if you made it this far, thank you so much. We appreciate you a lot. I'm hoping that you had a good holiday. Good holidays leading into the new year, and I'm hoping that the rest of, you know, your new year into the next year is just nothing but amazing as well. If there's anything that we, nothing but progress, right? That's good. That's a good way to put it. Nothing but progress, and you know, hopefully we helped you, because if we did, please comment down below. Let us know how you guys feel about this. Because
hopefully you started.
Yeah.
If you didn't start.
If you didn't start, then why'd you even click on this video?
Exactly. So you can start right now by turning off whatever it is that you're using to watch us, and jumping right in, yo. And you know what? And I said something earlier today. In order for you to swim with sharks, you got to be a shark.
That's a topic for
foreshadowing the next episode.
I don't know what that relates to right now.
I don't know. Take it for what it is.
Foreshadowing the future.
Alright. Hopefully you guys had a good Christmas.
Yep. Our Christmas is tomorrow.
Christmas
Eve.
Christmas Eve. So we're
gonna enjoy the next day, and then we're gonna get back to work.